Hey everyone, Happy New Year's. For today's video, I'm just going to do a simple chart replay showing the opportunities I saw in the market today. The reason for this is to hopefully clear up some questions I've been receiving about the daily streams and how the charts and all the numbers can be helpful for anyone trying to get into Orderflow. Before that, I do want to thank you guys for getting the channel to 400 subs, which might be a small milestone, but we're slowly growing. To get started, we have to set out the criteria for each trade so we can stick to a strict plan instead of trying to take every opportunity we see, like many try to do when getting started with order flow and footprint. So before each trading day, I want to make sure my zones and key levels are correct, as being sloppy would not get us anywhere. To do this, I have a monitor set for all my analysis. My strategy is fairly simple, as I'm just watching price action and seeing where we have seen areas of balance and directional movement in which price is facilitating trade and seeking fair value. With all this in mind, I also use the volume profile on the yearly and the daily, where I'm looking for low volume nodes and high volume nodes. This is where I'll get my areas of interest. So the low volume nodes and high volume nodes are amazing when they're used correctly, as they show areas of participation and interest. As prices search for balance and imbalance in the market, these nodes can either attract prices or reject prices. And for today, I was looking for either the 4670 right here, 4670 low volume node to hold, as this is where the yearly value low currently rested. But as we can see, we also have a slight low volume node right here. They're harder to see, but you have to take in context of the market. As you can see, we had support in the past at this area, and when we have support in the past at a low volume area, I want to get in where buyers were last active. We can see the prior moves into the 4750 low volume node as tests, meaning participants were attempting to move prices outside of balance but failed as buyers stepped in and moved prices back into balance where they are seeking fair value, which would have been yearly point control when using the yearly profile. So when a test happens, we want to see buying outside of balance. So we can see here on this, we had a D profile showing balance in the market. So we had a test, prices came back up. We eventually moved out of this balance area. We had another test, prices moved back lower, had another test. And when we had another test, prices are going to come back to, guess what, yearly point control, which is the highest area of volume on the yearly profile at the moment. So I'm expecting prices to come back down and show support when we move outside of the balance here, which would have been yearly value low. And when we go on a lower time frame, we can see these zones show low volume areas here, here. So my plan was to watch for prices to move either into this low volume node or this low volume node and to find support. As prices were overall in a bearish trend, I knew longs would be risky, but with that previous support back in December, I thought the risk would make sense. We can now look at the commentary in my Discord. For this, my first trade, terrible. It really didn't meet my criteria. I just kind of took it because we were at the low volume node and there's really no explanation, just bad trade. I took it off early, risking 2 points. But my next trade is where it was golden. We can see that we had trapped sellers over here. As we moved into the low volume node, yearly value low, tons of selling delta, you can see here. And as sellers become trapped, like we see at all the selling volume, they're going to want relief, so prices are going to move higher. And on the retest of that selling area where they were trapped, I want to get long. This happens every day, tons of times. I'll show you guys more examples. But we went long, we can see more selling delta. They could not push it lower. My first entry was just early. It was kind of a mistake trade. I hit the wrong keybind. But my second entry, great, took my long. I'm looking for 2 to 1. So as prices move from here, we can see all the selling delta like we saw. And we can see sellers were just heavy, but as they came to the low here, they ran out. We had a lack of sellers. And with lack of sellers comes lack of participation, which means buyers can step in. So we're gonna move higher, get the 8 points. And with the 8 points, I was looking for prices to move back to the current day value high, which they eventually did, but before they did, we had a little rest area. So as I said before, market's gonna move from balance to imbalance, and we're gonna have rest periods. We had a balance area, directional move lower, a test, a slight balance, directional move, balance, and I was expecting this directional move here to lead to balance, to eventually lead to very high. As the markets have it, it decided to come down, hit my stop for break even. So after my first target is reached, I usually move my stop to break even, and it saves me a lot of the time. But for my next trade, when I have such a quality entry at a great area, I really need to put my stops where price invalidates my idea. So as we moved into this low volume node, we can see tons of selling coming into the market. Buyers are slowly coming in. These green dots mean buying volume over 1500. So selling delta, they're moving it lower down here. But as soon as we come in here, they're just not able to keep price moving lower. They're not able to keep on selling. So we found this one candle where I would like to draw my zone. As price move higher, we have a little dip into it. And you can see on the book map style chart, we have a move higher, move back into. So we had our balance, directional movement, a test, you can say, directional movement back into previous balance where I look for my entry. We have delta staying positive, so we can see buyers are coming into the market. And with that, I'm waiting for my entry. Got my entry. My first target just happens to be at VWAP, which was also 8 points. And it was good. I was happy with the entry, happy with the trade. But we can see over here on the 1 minute, we're now resting. And with rest comes directional movement. So I was waiting for prices to balance, directional move, balance, directional move to value high. I really shouldn't have been thinking like that. We're following a trend here. We had a higher low, but we also are having a slight downtrend in the delta and in price. Stopped out here for break even. My stop should have really been down here below my zone because we see selling coming into the market. We see sellers are not really heavy. Buyers are stepping in. So that was a mistake. A good learning lesson. And this happened to just run to my target of very high, which was unfortunate, but it happens. You have to learn from these lessons, and I'm doing my best. So as that happened, another opportunity stepped in. I was away from my computer at the time, but we can see we had a balance come from this candle, area of balance. Now it's sellers' turn to step in and trap buyers. So yearly point of control is defended. Buyers are trying their hardest to push prices higher. And as we move higher, in my last video I talked about neutral delta. It would go from 567 to 100. Anything between negative 300 and positive 300, I kind of see as neutral. And you could have waited for the test of this previous balance. So right here, we had the balance, directional movement, and retested the balance where we could have entered here, or even then, same scenario here. Pull it back. Tons of buying, delta coming into the market. As we come into this, we close at 209, being neutral delta in my mind, where you could have got your entry. Like I said, I was away from my computer, risking 4 points to possibly make 8 right there at very high. Runners could have kept going. And this just happens so many times. I want to share it with you guys as a really simple strategy, and I feel like anyone could figure it out if they put their mind to it. As I have my daily streams, you guys can check out, review them, whatever you want. I also have my Discord where I try to give my commentary every day, my morning plans, and I also give away all my charts. So everything you saw today is in my Sierra resources category here. I have a video on how to add them. I have all of them here for you to choose from. Discord had a nifty little update. So anything I seem useful or helpful, I add it here. And yeah, check it out if you want to. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If the video did help you, leave a comment, leave a like, whatever you want. And yeah, enjoy your day. See you next time.